Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to do a contour palette smackdown. I did a neutral palette smackdown and that video just seemed to do really well. So I want to do one about contouring items that have been released. I know that there's been a ton of contour palettes and items that have been put out there lately, and I've definitely jumped on the contour bandwagon, whether it was cream or powder products. And now that I've kind of gotten into the cream contouring products, I could give you a better opinion of these items and let you know what I think is worth it and what I think is not really that great. So if you'd like to see a little bit more about these contouring palettes I have, just keep watching. So the first contouring palette I have is this cream contour palette by Mercier. Now I did include this in my January favorites this year because this palette is amazing. I really have nothing bad to say about it. It is absolutely stunning, and I love this palette because even though it's cream, it applies on so nicely. It doesn't take your foundation off. It doesn't leave you with the greasy, oily residue on the skin. I just think it's a beautiful product, and I think that the color range in here is amazing because, as you know, and I've stated this in so many of my videos, it is harder for women of color to find bronzing and contouring items because it's hard for us. I feel like they make a lot of items that are at our skin tone rather than deeper than our skin tone. So I feel like this was a really great item that Mercier put out because she has from a normal to medium to a really dark, and I feel like this palette is just such a beautiful palette, and the product is so nice. The highlights are really beautiful. They have bronzy highlights for those who are deeper in tone. It is a beautiful highlight. And then this lighter one, which I think can be used for any skin tone, it reminds me a lot of NARS Albatross. So this palette, I say, is a definite 2 thumbs up. The product in itself is amazing. I think it's a great palette, and it's very universal for so many different people. And not to mention that they have this giant mirror on the top, so it's really good for on the go. So this Mercier palette is the business, and I definitely would suggest this to everyone, and it is definitely worth it. I know it's a little pricey, but I would definitely say go out and get it. Especially if you're not into cream contouring, you will like it. It's not challenging. It's really easy once you kind of get into the swing of things. The next one I have is from IT Cosmetics, and it is the My Sculpted Face Kit. And this I got from Ulta. I have been eyeing it for quite some time, but I never really went out and got it. But one day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go get it. So this palette has some pros and some cons. I do like it, but there's some things I don't like about it. I do think that the range in bronzing shades is really nice because it does cater to a lot of different skin tones. I do not like the fact that they don't have a better under the eye or a highlighting powder. This white powder is just way too light in my opinion. Like, you have to be like white as white to wear this in my opinion. So I don't think it's not good for just my skin tone, but for a lot of different skin tones. I feel like they would have done well with like a banana powder. These 2 shades can be used to brighten up underneath the eyes, so I do think that that is nice, but I wish that they would have incorporated a different kind of highlight because I feel like these are more bronzing shades for those who are lighter in tone, and this is just a little bit too fair. And this highlight right here is the only shimmer in the palette, and it's just a very icy white. I don't like it. I just do not like it at all. I don't like icy white colors, and I don't want to put that on my skin. I feel like it's a little bit chalky. I mean, I just don't like this shade. I feel like if you're going to use it, you can use it as an eyeshadow, but as for contouring and highlighting, I don't think it's a great shade at all. So these 2 colors I could live without. I think like those are the only cons about this palette, but I do like the other 4 shades. I do think they're very nice. I do like to mix these 2 together. This bronzer right here is absolutely beautiful on the skin. I have been really enjoying it, and when I mix it with this, I want to go in for a more deep tone and like a more contour that is going to stick out and come out at you. But like I said before, I wish that they would have incorporated a little bit better of highlighting tones because this is not a one-stop shop contour palette for me because of that. But I do enjoy the product. The product in itself is pretty good. It doesn't give me any problems. It's not overly powdery. It lasts on the skin, so that I do like about it. It's just these 2 guys right here, they're not doing it for me. They're really not. So yeah, But other than that, this palette is nice. The mirror on it is very weird. I really don't know why they would need to, you know, split it in half. I feel like it would have just done well if it was, you know, just one mirror versus two, but hey, I don't know, that's it. So other than that, this palette is good. I don't think it's the best, but I think it's good. The next one I have is the Kat Von D shade Light. Now this was recently launched, I want to say like a month and a half ago, and when I first saw it I was like, yes, Kat Von D, yes, 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 because this has got such great colors in it. I think that these shades are good for lots of different skin tones. So when I was shouting in my like happiness about this palette, I was, you know, praising her because she recognized all the mocha mamas in the world and she put a really deep contour shade in here. Now this palette, it has pros and cons as well. The actual palette has really beautiful shades. I like every single shade in here. I think that they're all great. They're all matte. There's no shimmer. I think that the amount of product she gives in here is really good. The packaging is a little bulky, but it's not too bad. The mirror in it is very nice. But when it comes to the product in itself, I feel like it's a little bit too powdery. I do not like that about it because when you stick your brush in there, I feel like a lot of powder flies out and you're wasting a lot of product, which I do not like. But other than that, it's pretty good. I don't have anything bad to say. I like that she included a banana shade, and she also has two other highlighting shades. One is more peachy, another one is a little bit more cool. So I feel like it's geared towards a lot of different skin tones. But I will say that the contouring part of it is really nice. I do like the shades. This dark one is a really deep contour on me, so I know it can benefit a lot of darker women. And the medium one is a really beautiful bronze, and this one right here is more cool tone, so it's got that gray in it, and it's really good for just a contour. Now this palette, I will say, I think is more geared towards those who are medium to those who are darker in tone, those who are women of color or Latin, or anybody who has a tan to their skin. I feel like will do very well with this palette. This palette is really nice. I'm not saying that people who are lighter in tone cannot use it, but I feel like some of these colors will be very dark on you and they won't work for you as well, and you won't get the full use out of the palette. So that is the only thing that I'm saying with it. I don't say that you can't use it, but I feel like you would get your money's worth out of a different palette that has some lighter shades rather than like a really deep dark contour that you really would be able to use that much. But all in all, I think this palette's great. I just wish the product in itself wasn't so powdery. So moving on from that one, I'm going to talk about this one from Marc Jacobs. This one is just two shades. It's like a duo, but I have been loving this. This is the deepest shade they have. This is the 60 Hi-Fi filter, and this is such a big product. I know it is very pricey, but I think for the price point you do get a lot of product, and Marc Jacobs packaging is really sleek. It's really cute. It's, you know, very thin, so it's great for on the go. You can just throw this in your purse. The mirror in it's really good, so if you want to touch up on the go, I think it's really nice. Full-size mirror. The product is beautiful. I absolutely love this. This was a win. It's an expensive but really nice luxurious item to have in your collection. The bronzing is not going to be, or the contour shade is not going to be like a bam in your face contour. It's a very light contour and it gives you some depth to the cheeks, but it's not going to be like, whoa, that girl's got a contour. It's going to be very light and very, very, you know, natural, which I really like. And the product is so buttery, it's so smooth, it's so creamy. I just don't even know how to describe it, but I think the formula of this product is absolutely amazing. The highlighting shade that comes with it is more of a peachy shade. I kind of wish that they would have put a little bit more, you know, incorporate a little bit more yellow in it, but I like this as well. It highlights, but it gives you a natural highlight. It's not going to give you a highlight like the banana powder would. I like that kind of banana powder look, but this one's really beautiful, and I think that this palette is really good for a natural look. So if you're someone who likes a natural looking contour, I feel like this will definitely be worth it for you. And the product is so great. I absolutely love this. I think it's absolutely amazing. I will suggest this to anyone because I've just been so happy with it, and this is my newest purchase out of all of the items I've been using, but I've been gravitating to it a lot because it's just so easy to work with. It's very blendable. I absolutely love it. It's a, you know, 5-star product. So moving on from that one, I'm going to talk about the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is in the medium to tan color, and I did have the original one. It took so long for me to get it because it was just so hyped about. Everybody and their mom wanted it. It was talked about all over YouTube, and you know, I wanted it too. But when I got it, I liked it, but I didn't use it as much as I wish I would have, because the colors in it were not geared towards my skin tone. I felt like there were like 3 or 4 shades in there that I just did not use. So when then I saw that they released this medium to tan, I was like, yes. So I went and exchanged it at Sephora, and I was really happy about it because this one is definitely much better for me. I like it so much better than the original because it gears more towards my skin tone. So I was really grateful to them that they took us into consideration, so I like that. So I can't give you a really good opinion on the first one because I didn't use a lot of the products, but I can give you a pretty good opinion on this one. Now this one I really have been enjoying. I think it's a great product. The powder in itself is very nice. It's very blendable. It's easy. It, you know, is nice on the skin. It lasts. It doesn't, you know, disappear. It's not overly powdery. So when you dip your brush into it, a lot of product is not going to get all over the place. I think that they did a really nice, beautiful range of colors. These colors are going to gear towards so many different skin tones if you are medium to tan or dark, because they have like a really deep bronzing shade, which is really dark on me. This one is my favorite, and sometimes when I want to up the amp a little bit but not go for this completely deep contour, I mix these two together. This one is the more cool tone shade. If you want to have that cool tone contour, this is a true contour shade. This is the highlight shade, which I think is nice, but I think, I don't know, like, I wish they would have made it a little bit more gold and less taupe, because this doesn't really do too much for me. That is one downfall of it. I feel like it's a little bit too taupey for a highlight shade, in my opinion. The highlighting shades are nice. I like this peach shade. I kind of wish that they would have incorporated the banana powder in it. Like, I love this palette. It's really nice, but I really wish that because they have such a wide selection of colors, I just wish they would have thrown the banana shade in there instead of like the highlight, because I feel like that one is something that could be used on all skin tones, because banana powder is very universal. Like, so many different skin tones can handle that powder, and it's a really beautiful powder. So that is the only bad part about this, in my opinion. But other than that, it's a really great product. It's like $46, I believe. So I think it's really nice, and I enjoy it so far. I'm just not too crazy about this highlighting shade right here. It kind of reminds me of MAC's Satin Taupe eyeshadow, the one that everybody was crazy about. That's what that highlighting shade reminds me of. So this palette is really nice. I would give it a full 5 stars or 2 thumbs up, but I'm just not crazy about the highlighting shade, and I wish they would have incorporated the banana powder in here, because they do have it available in the first original palette. So moving on from that one, I'm going to talk about another cream contour palette, and this one is from MAC. And this one I've had for quite some time, and I bought it because I thought it was cool that it had the color correcting and it had the concealer that I use in it. But when I used it, I felt like it was a little too thick. I do like the correcting one, but it's a little too thick for underneath the eyes. This is really good for like sculpting your eyebrows or touching up like spots that need to be touched up. So I feel like it's good for that. But I never really looked at it for contouring, because when I bought it, I was not into cream contouring at all. So lately I've been using this as a cream contour because I've been into it, and I've been really enjoying it. It's not too thick on the skin. I feel like as long as it's not being applied underneath the eye, because that area is so light and it's so like, the skin underneath that area is just so thin, I feel like if you put too much product on there, you'll cake face real quick. So this, I feel like, is great for just all over the face, and it's really beautiful for highlighting. It blends out beautifully. It's a little thicker, but it's not hard to work with. It's very blendable. I've been liking this. I think this palette is amazing. It's so good for touch-ups. I think this is one of the best universal contouring palette color correcting things they have out there as far as creams go, because you can correct as well as contour and, you know, highlight different areas of the face. So this one is a definite 5 stars. I absolutely love it. I think this is in the $40 price range, and I think it's completely worth it. It's got a banana shade, it's got a orangey shade, and this is in the medium deep color. but it's really great, and I think it's so worth it. So I love this, definite 5 stars. So moving on from that one, the last item I'm going to show you is another cream contouring product, and this one is from Smashbox, and these are the step-by-step contour sticks. Now these sticks are unbelievable. I think they're beautiful products. Like, I think that all the cream products that I have been unbelievable, and I think that's because I've been so nitpicky with it, because I'm very weary of cream products. So these I saw and I swatched them on my hand, and they were just so creamy, and they go on so effortlessly. They are so blendable and beautiful. This is the shade Contour, which has got the cool tone to it. So it's really beautiful. It shows up on my skin tone. I feel like it's really great because it can go towards a lot of different skin tones, from light to medium to dark. So I like that about it. So that's the contour shade. This is the highlight shade. Very light, but I also feel like it's very usable. I do not put this so much underneath my eyes. I like to sculpt my face with it and put it like along my nose. But this is really beautiful as well. It's very creamy. It blends out really nicely. And the last one is Bronze, which is also very beautiful. It's just a very bronzy shade. And I love these like step-by-step sticks. I think they're great products. They're so blendable. They're so creamy. I don't have enough good things to say. And I believe I included this in a favorites video as well. But they just look so good on the skin. And I feel like that they're just such great across the board, you know, products, especially for so many different skin tones, which is what I really love about that. And I feel like that's what I'm most critical about, because I want a product that's going to go towards so many different skin tones, not just towards one aspect or one shade. So these are really beautiful. I think they're about $46 if I'm not mistaken, and they're really nice. I think that they're hands down bomb. The only thing I do not like about these sticks is that you do have to sharpen them, and it can get a little messy. I wish that they would have made these retractable versus something that you have to sharpen yourself. That is the only down point of this, and I feel like when you sharpen things, it can get really messy and ruin the product. But other than that, they're great. I've been loving them, and I think they're totally worth it. So I hope this video was beneficial to you guys. I know that, you know, contouring is very scary and there's just so much out there, and I want to kind of help you guys narrow it down and give you my opinion. So please don't forget to thumbs up if you liked it and if you would like more of these videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon. Bye guys.